Yo, what up, guys? I need to make an intro. I don't know what to do. Out here eating strawberries, drinking strawberries. But anyways, what are we talking about? We're talking about ADURO Clean Technologies. This is some awesome shit right here. I love this company. All right, let's jump into it. Why do I love this company? First of all, when in the world have you ever seen a company that is worth $8 right now? We're at $8, all right? Let's go to Robinhood. $8. All right, I pulled up the all-time chart to give you guys the big perspective that, like, okay, what, from 2020, I don't know, what is this, 2022, I guess? Why are we skipping to 2021? We have 2023, 4, 5. Robinhood, what the fuck? Is that 2021? Honestly, it doesn't let me move. It's a little bit annoying here, but fuck it. We're not looking at the years ago. ADURO has innovations as of recent. I mean, they've always been innovating, but you know, as of recent, things are changing and people are becoming aware of the narrative. And really, as of recent, you can see the volume here. Let's go back to the 5 year. You can see the volume pick up just around, what is this, August, November, right here, November. This is when ADURO IPO'd, my bad. When it uplisted to the NASDAQ. It was already in the Canadian Stock Exchange. So it didn't IPO, it uplisted to the NASDAQ. And why this is important is because you don't have insiders dumping on you like IPOs. Here, this uplisting just means, well, the company is no longer trading on the OTC market, over the counter, basically being a shitty ass penny stock, it's a legit fucking company now. So we're in the NASDAQ. That's the general premise of what of what happened there, and why that's good that they uplisted rather than IPO'd, and why this is quite attractive to me. As you can see, I have here my 3 EMAs. We are definitely above my EMAs, but I'll tell you why this is a great buy right now here at $8. Well, we're really just talking about this price target. This is what this whole video is going to be about. This new price target that was just updated on 2 days ago here on Friday, on June 13th, and obviously, as you can see, this is a small company. We're talking about, what is this? Market cap 237 million. This is tiny. We're not even a $1 billion company. If this is a billion, you're 4xing from where we're at. But you're not 4xing from where we're at. You're more than 4xing. What is that? So here's where we want to get to. ADURO has an average price target of $48. The highest price target is $48, while the lowest price target is $48. That means we're going to $48, right? The average, the highest, the low, no, it's fine. Obviously, this is a little skewed and biased. We'll talk about that in a minute. We only have one analyst talking about this stock, but the only one we have is at least, like, with us, like, bullish, like, freaking $48 price target on an $8 stock. Do you guys realize we're literally sitting at $8.11 right now? We are as high as $12, so you can rest assured we can probably get back to that if we were at that. I'm going to talk about why at $8 this is probably a steal, and why this is definitely, like, at the very, very minimum going to, alright, this doesn't sound crazy, but $10.44, or what is it, $10, whatever. We'll talk about the specifics in a second. But we're going at least $10, so from $8 to $10, that is what? That's not 20%, that's, I don't know. That's a little more, maybe $2.44, that's a 25% increase. So, okay, that's not a lot. But look, that's at the very, very, very minimum. And most investors, most hedge funds look for what, 7-8% to beat the S&P, right, of 7-8% a year. So if we're talking about a 25%, all right, we'll get to the numbers a bit. Honestly, that's not that bullish. All right, $10, forget that. What we're really looking at here is this $48 price target, and actually way beyond that. I think this can go. This can really go like more like fucking 480, honestly. But actually, the real reason I wanted to make this video, I'm probably so far into it. This is the real reason I want to make this video. This $48 price target is freaking amazing. This company used to have a price target of $50. Okay, so it did lower the price target. It just updated it. So technically, this price target is only from June 13th. This is not the first time ADURO had a price target. ADURO had this price target of $50 from like, I don't know, a month or 2 months ago. And they just updated it to $48, which is a decrease. I obviously would rather them increase it, maybe, you know, up to 52 rather than 48. I don't like that they did decrease it. But the fact that they decreased it to a very specific number, although they don't have cents, I would have loved if they said, you know, 48.50 or something. It's $50 is very general, right? You can always throw out, like I'm saying, ADURO is going to reach $1,000. You know, I mean, it technically probably won't ever because of stock splits, but in theory, it'll probably reach around that price. I'm estimating, you know, when I say $1,000, I really just mean, you know, 800-900. I don't really mean the actual number. What I really mean is the market cap. And if we're sitting at 250 million at $8, 250 million at $8 would mean what at $1,000? Let's see, quick some ChatGPT here. That would mean at $8, $1,000. That would mean 250. I mean, boom, 2 billion. Wait. What? That's crazy. No, that's not true. 2 million units, 1,000. Let me tell you real quick here. We have 1,000 divided by, sorry, some quick math. I hope I don't lose you here. 125 increase. Okay. 125 times $250 million, which is the current market cap. That is 123, comma 123, comma 123. Okay, we're exaggerating here a little bit. 31 billion. Actually, wait. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Comma 31. Wait. Comma million. 250 million. 31 billion. That's not even crazy. $1,000 is like $31 billion. That's not even that crazy. I mean, okay, we're not going to replace waste management, but waste management market cap 95 billion, right? I've looked at this before. I mean, 35, what was that? 31 trillion. That's 30% of waste management in a company that's, I don't know if you watch my other videos or if you know ADURO. You're probably watching this because you know ADURO, but what they do is plastic recycling. I mean, they're going to change the world with plastic, and as you know, plastic is a huge problem. 30% of waste management is, I mean, it's not a far cry from reality. Obviously, $1,000 is crazy to think about when we're at $8, but when we're talking about the legit market cap from 250 million to 31 billion, that's not that crazy to think about. That's actually quite doable. But it doesn't matter, because even if we get to $48, what is that? That's a pretty nice chunk on your money. 48 divided by 8 is 6. All right, you got a 6x on your money if, you know, whoops. I'm messing with the camera here. Let's go back there. All right, with the numbers. It's got some shortcuts. All right, fuck it. So what were we talking about here? $48 from $8, we're at a 6x. Now, where does this price target come from? To be honest, we don't quite know. But, you know, I really can't tell you. There isn't really too much information why they gave that $48 price target rather than the $50 price target that they had here 1 month ago, 3 months ago. Okay, 3 months ago was the first price target of $50. Before that, there was none, which was an 800% upside at the time. Now at $48 is pretty much a 6x, 500% upside. 500% is actually a 6x, not 5x, which is a little confusing, but if you do the math, it is a 6x. I just want to make that clear because when I talk these numbers, sometimes people might think like, what the fuck am I saying? I know what I'm saying. But, I don't know if we're going to $48. I think we're going to fucking $480 plus, but, this company does need to commercialize and start making revenue. Obviously, if you know ADURO doesn't make any revenue yet, but let's actually just jump into what I wanted to talk about this whole time, which was this updated price target. This is all we have here, actually, about knowing what the... Oh, no, sorry. The price target was separate. It was, interestingly enough, and this is why I would be a little bit cautious to the biasness of the analyst here. The analyst is not an individual analyst person. It is actually a company, from my understanding. Honestly, until I found this out, I didn't even know that exists. So, maybe a little bit on my dumbass to not know that, but I thought analyst meant like, an individual person, but I guess there's analyst ratings from a company. So ADURO Capital, the company, gave this analyst rating, and well, the reason I wouldn't put too much emphasis on it is because now they're invested in the company. So 3 months ago, they gave it a $50 price target and everyone went crazy. We got bullish. What was that? 3 months ago at 317. If we look back at March 17, what happened March 17? Interesting. Not much. Okay. We do have a clear uptick in candle here, but it didn't go actually up. If we're looking, it actually went down afterward. That's interesting. I was actually in the stock at about that time. That's actually about when I heard it, when it hit that $50 price target. And this is quite interesting if you're maybe hearing about this company for the first time, because I'm probably going to mention in the thumbnail like $8 stock going to $48. And if you're hearing about this for the first time, that's interesting because I heard ADURO for the first time when I saw a $50 price target on a fucking, 9x here. So I thought that was interesting. I looked into the company and I invested and done pretty well since. But as you can see, actually I invested and I lost some money. I remember when I invested, but I held through and bought the dip, and now we're doing pretty well. But now, just like that price target that came out and the price dipped, which is interesting, just like here, when did we get this price target? We got it on June 13th. Okay, we actually peaked before that price target. We peaked, it looks like, on June 5th. We peaked at $12 and we did go down. So we do have a dip opportunity here. And I didn't even jump into the numbers too much yet, so thank you for sticking along. So now we're going to talk about why $10 and $8 is interesting numbers. So if you're buying at anywhere under $8.44, you're already buying under ADURO Capital. So ADURO Capital is a company. They actually, this is a small investment for them, I will say. They have about $30 billion in investments, I believe. Okay, 23 billion, okay? When ADURO becomes 31 billion, that'll take over, but let's forget about that. You can see here they have some pretty huge investments. So $8 million is probably a drop in the bucket for them. But it is the most recent one. You see it here, June 11th. ADURO Capital acted as the sole book runner for ADURO Clean Technologies with $8 million, which is nice. There's no other ones. Only ADURO Capital diluting us. When this came out, this is the reason that the stock kind of took a little bit of a dip, especially because they're giving them shares at $8.44 when we were sitting at around $12, $11. So people felt that's like a little bit fucked up, But honestly, you have to think about it. They were talking about this and trying to get capital from them. This doesn't happen in a day. This happens in, a month or more, weeks of negotiations, right? So, we were actually sitting at well below from when they started negotiating. I think they started negotiating at around the $6 range, and the stock just kept pumping. So the fact that they gave them that discounted $8.44 price is not that discounted, because when they actually talked about it, if they just bought at market price, you know, they would have been better off. But point is, 844 was their price point, and right now we're sitting at 811. So if you're buying at anywhere under their 844 price point, you can kind of assure that they're probably not going to dump on you. And really almost no one else is going to dump on you. There's very few actual capital, investment firms invested in ADURO that are, they're actually invested in ADURO because they believe in the technology. If you read this, I'm not going to read through all this, but let's just read through the very first few lines here, because I don't know if you're watching this for the first time and you don't know anything about ADURO. Let's just learn. A clean technology company focused on transforming low-value feedstocks, which is basically like the shitty plastics that no one else can, low value because no one else can do anything with them, including waste plastics, heavy bitumen, I don't really know what that is, and renewable oils into 21st century resources through chemical innovation. Waste plastics, this here is the most interesting part and the biggest moneymaker, but just to give you a bigger idea here that it doesn't end at plastic recycling. They can do so much more. And they recycle plastic to petroleum, to oil. So they actually turn it to more value because oil is valuable and plastic is fucking cheap. So yeah, it's a big win-win here in many ways. And like just the actual numbers and economics of this make much more sense than a lot of things and a lot of other companies. I probably sound like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about right now, but let's bear with me. Into the 21st century resources through chemical innovation. This is a hydrochemolytic, the innovation they're talking about. This is a very new way of breaking down like these very hard materials to break down, which is what they invented and patented. This is what makes ADURO special, really, this hydrochemolytic process that they got going. And what they really have is like they have to commercialize this hydrochemolytic process that they have in like a small version right now going for themselves. All right, so they're giving just under 1 million shares at $8.44. So that's where the $8 million comes from 8.44, and this amount of shares comes to that $8 million. And so also they're promising to exercise half a warrant, which basically for this 1 million shares, they can buy another 500,000 shares down in the future at $10.13. So this is the $10 price I was telling you. They're basically promised that they can rebuy shares at $10. So if they're willing to buy shares again at $10, that's you can almost guarantee we're going back to $10 if they're that confident that they'll, buy shares at 10. However, I will again mention this is just drop in the buckets for this company. If they have 23 billion in assets, 8 million is, it's nothing. It's like if you have $100,000, you're fucking just going to, I don't know, buy a Dyson or some shit, right? Whatever. Maybe a horrible example. Honestly, I don't know what the fuck the numbers might not be that relevant. It honestly might be cheaper. Like not even a Dyson, might fucking just go Subway. That might be when you're talking about billions, it's a little bit mind-boggling. I understand exponentials, but I don't even understand it that much. If you ever heard of there's a saying from Einstein, the eighth wonder of the world is compounding, is compound like exponentials in numbers. So it's very hard to understand and conceive of like these $23 billion. What even is that? It's crazy to think about that there's people in the world that are worth like 10 times that, but whatever. The point here is they bought at $8.44. We're sitting at under $8.44. They're willing to buy more shares at $10.13, and they have a price target of $48.50, okay? The biasness there bothers me a little bit that they're the only analyst that has a price target, and they have now an invested interest in it. If you know anything about incentives, this is a fucking huge misalignment and conflict of interest, right? But, who cares? At least we have a price target, at least we have an analyst, and at least we have backers to back up the company when they need money and they need the funds. Yes, unfortunately, they are diluting shareholders and bringing the stock down. I definitely lost money in that, but my average is down. I lost unrealized gains but they're unrealized. And even if I bought at $12, which actually I did, because I have a daily purchase of ADURO of like $25. So every day I'm buying. So I definitely technically did buy up there, but I'm not worried at all because this company is great. I'm not talking at all really here about the company. We're talking about the prices, and this is what this video is for. I'm going to leave it at that. You can check out my other videos on ADURO. I'm going to continue making videos about ADURO. This is one of my favorite companies. So if you do like ADURO, stay tuned, subscribe, give us a like, and share with your friends, because fuck yeah, ADURO is going to the moon. I really believe so. Up to you. Do your own due diligence. Do your own investing. Check out the description for the disclaimer. I'll leave it at that. Until next time, stay thinking, question everything, and peace the fuck out.